We're doing a little recording action. I gotta say, what a handsome, attractive, good-looking group you are. I had to just say that because, I mean, just look at y'all. Just look at y'all. It's incredible. Really glad to see you. Roger, welcome back. Roger and Darth Vader, of course. Roger, we missed you. I'm not sure we missed Darth, but we totally missed you. We totally missed you. And Cash, welcome to the party. We've got a couple of new folks chiming in, so this is great.
Thanks, Dave. It's good to be back.
Yeah. So you can maybe fill us in during our celebrations time about what you were up to.
Happy to.
I also posted, and we're going to get the celebrations and wins and successes in a moment, but I posted this in the group, and I think it's really, really important. So the last couple of calls, really, ever since Roger, when Roger left, like the celebrations went like just totally downhill. And I think it's because we fall into the comparison trap. So someone says, hey, I just booked a gig for like $15,000. Hey, I just got like 5 gigs for $25K. And okay. And then we come on the call, we say, okay, what do you have? And you're like, oh man, I'm terrible. I suck. Like I sent an email. I reached out to 5 new people on LinkedIn. I got some new testimonials, but I can't compete with that guy. I can't compete with her. I can't compete with him. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm just going to lay low. I'm not going to have any wins or celebrations or successes to share with anybody because I'm just going to be under the waterline like this. The problem with doing that, it's not for us, it's not for me, it's for you. Because you ask any of these people that come up on these calls with these amazing, huge wins and these amazing big celebrations, you say, well, what was behind that? And there's going to be 17 baby steps and 17 points of clarity and 17 initial steps up that ladder. And when they get to the top of the ladder, they go, yay! And they say, well, did you celebrate step 3? Yeah, no, I love step 3. Did you celebrate step 7? Yeah, I would totally celebrate it. Did you acknowledge? Did you, give yourself a pat on the back with step 9 or step 11? Yeah, no, those are all very significant. If we don't A, acknowledge, and B, celebrate every single step towards those breakthroughs, towards getting that marketing and sales and business development engine up and running. The problem with not celebrating is not acknowledging, and then of course you lose momentum, and then you lose sight of the big picture. Let me also just quickly, I forgot to hit mute here just for the sound quality. We're getting a little bit of strange feedback from people, but so we'll unmute during the celebrations, then obviously during the Q&A. But hugely, hugely important. Teresa and I just talked about this morning. That privately you're saying, oh man, I totally crushed this. I totally slammed that. I'm getting real clarity on my topic. I finally finished my 1 sheet, my 7 reasons to hire. I'm ready to go out. I'm interviewing people. I'm asking for air conversations. Everything is clicking into place. And then we say, okay, wins and celebrations, and people like this. Meanwhile, you're doing the work in behind the scenes that's going to cause the win and the celebration for in front of the scenes, right? So by wins and celebrations, although trust me, I love hearing about the monetary. I love hearing about the financial. I love hearing about the $7,000, $10,000, $15,000 thing. So Jason, for example, who just graduated a couple of weeks ago, he just had his final closeout call with Teresa. He landed a $25K gig, and he's got 2 more in the pipeline, 1 for $10K, 1 for $11K. And so it's like, can we bring you back on just to share that with people? But again, that was his step 17. That wasn't like, oh, I joined the program and I made $54,000. That was step by step by step. And I'll tell you, he's a guy, like many of you, who celebrated at every step. Acknowledged every milestone, every check-in point, every aha, every insight, was very, very active in posting his distinctions and ahas and takeaways after each and every call. So it's a cumulative effect. And the reason I'm so hell-bent on you acknowledging your own positive focus, wins, success, breakthrough, even if it's a clarity breakthrough, even if it's a positioning breakthrough, even if it's a finally, I know what my verbal business card should be, right? That little sound bite that we say on the phone, on LinkedIn, in email, in your referral conversations about, hi, Susan, this is David Newman. I speak to groups of small and solo business owners who want to do a better job with their marketing. I'm calling to see if a program like this might be valuable for your members. When you have that little verbal business card dialed in and it just hits all the marks and you feel great about it, and you go to a networking event and someone asks you the inevitable question that we all hate, so what do you do? And you come out with that answer and you watch their facial reaction. They go, wow, do you have a card? That's awesome. That's exactly what we need. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what we've been looking for. And you finally, after 20 or 30 or 40 years doing what you're doing, you finally have a good answer to that question. Well, that would be a celebration. That would be a win. That would be a success. That would be some positive focus. So I would just encourage you, be a little bit more braggadocious in here. Be a little bit more celebrating your own wins, because it's the celebrations that gives you the traction, and it's the traction that gives you the momentum. And then at the end of that momentum is where you start racking up the results, the results, the results, the checks, the checks, the checks. And so we're all about the results and the checks. But if you don't celebrate the milestones along the way, it is very tough to navigate down that highway. It is very tough to navigate down that highway. So now that I've essentially shamed everyone into every single person now has to have a win or a celebration for today, who'd like to go first with that? And just feel free to unmute yourself. And Roger's just celebrating being back. He's just celebrating being back in the saddle, but go ahead. And we have to get you unmuted. We got to get you off mute. Roger, are you finding it? There you go.
I found it, yeah. It's
Perfect.
just my fingers are bad. Yeah, so,
I hear you.
Yeah, so just a couple of things. I just looked, David, it was like at the first of the month since we were together last. And since that time, I went to a conference in Florida. I went out to Fort Collins, Colorado, delivered a couple of programs out there that went very well. And you talk about the trusted advisor thing that goes on. The client out there said, I want to run this by you as far as getting this out to our constituents. Can you look this over? We did that. I had 2 more meetings with folks out there. I've put in 2 more proposals out there to those folks with more to come. Going to St. Thomas on Friday to the University of Virgin Islands. We talked about that last time. And so that actually turned in from a 2-day event to a 3-day event. And I've, based on you and Teresa's input, I've redone the homepage and my products and services on the website. So if you go to rogerfirestein.com, David, what you helped me to do is you really helped me to clarify what those products and services were. And so there's like 4 now, and they're just really come out really, really well. So that's what's been going on. On the other side, it's really interesting as well. This big $19,000 project that I mentioned that I landed last month, I got a call from the client. They had to cancel it because of a clerical error. Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, it has to do with the State University of New York, and it's with another university. I'm employed at another university, and because of stuff that went on at this one university, now they have to, well, we can't hire somebody without an RFP and all this kind of stuff. So we went round and round. But the bottom line of it, that hurt for a little bit, and it really did. Yeah. But then what happened was the next 2 days I'm out in Colorado, and so I'm putting in proposals that are going to total 28,000. So, you know, you lose some, but you just kind of get, part of the celebration and part of this journey is like you lose some every once in a while, to no cause of your own. So
love that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So thanks. And what I do need to work on now is I need to get back on my 10 by 10 strategy, which I'm working on. That's clarifying. And this verbal business card that you mentioned earlier, that's got to happen. So, but
okay,
it's been a good month. Yeah. So
great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice. So you're fully caught up. That was like 2 or 3 weeks worth of celebrations. Now you're fully caught
okay, I'm done now.
You're fully caught up. That's
Thank
great.
you.
All right, and this is great because you guys are now chiming into the chat here. So let's go straight down. Let's go to Nicolle next with your celebration.
There we go. I was waiting for Cheryl. I saw her first.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cheryl. Yesterday was my first co-working session. And for people who weren't there, I scheduled a networking event, didn't realize that the co-working session was happening at the same time. And I couldn't do both. So I said, let me do co-working, skip the networking event. And I'm so happy that I did. I truly did get so much work done in those 4 hours, and the accountability at the top of each hour was really helpful to me. But my aha moment is when you looked at my document, David, and you said, I did 7 reasons to hire Nicolle, and you said connected to their financial status. And I got online last night and just printed out tons and tons of articles about how an employee's occupational health impacts an organization's economic health. And so now I get it, because before I was speaking for free or speaking for an honorarium that barely took care of gas and tolls. Now I realize that all of my documentation has to connect to the financial pain that they feel. So now I'm just excited about rewriting everything and getting it to the team, because I'm ready to go at this point. I just got a couple of more air conversations confirmed, and so I'm ready to go and make it happen financially.
Wow, 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 and wow. That is fantastic. Absolutely. And you know, it's these little small wrinkles about, you know, I know my program is awesome. What do they care about? They care about something that's adjacent to that or related to that. It may have even been very obvious to you. Well, of course, occupational health, you're going to have less absenteeism, less healthcare costs, benefits, cost containment, blah, blah, blah. We assume that they know that. They don't know that. That needs to be put on paper, in ink, you know, right in front of their nose going, oh yeah, this would really help with our profitability too. It would, right? So yes, yes, and yes. And I love the fact that you just got that dialed in. You have a ton of proof now out there that, you know, you believe it so that you're more able to convey it, and you are ready to go. You're ready to go, 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 which is great. Congratulations. All right, let's go to Kimberly next.
Good afternoon, everyone. My win today is one of the steps. My team's been working to work with associations as the practice management team. And so I had what I think is a very productive call with a large bar association, and have been asked to develop a proposal of what I envision that relationship, working relationship to look like for their tens of thousands of members.
Wow, very nice. So that could be a real 800-pound gorilla for you.
Could be. And it was interesting. One of the questions that the executive director asked was about bandwidth and capacity. You know, he goes, we have like 30,000 members. You know, are you sure you could handle this? And I said, well, you know, I wouldn't commit to anything that I knew that I couldn't deliver, but let's give it a spin and see. We're not going to know until we actually get going with it.
Right. And it could be fireside chats. It could be videos. It could be webinars. I mean, all of those things are scalable.
All those things. Yes. So yeah. I'm excited.
No, Kimberly, that's fantastic. Well done. And again, here's the other soundbite just based on Kimberly's success story. Nothing good happens outside of a conversation, right? We can hide behind the computer. We can polish version 93 of our documents until you get out there and put yourself a little bit in harm's way. And again, it's not even harm's way. It's about how do you connect with the people who want and need your help, right? How do you extend that hand and say, hey, listen, I'd like to invite you to a conversation on how I can help you, how I can help your members, how I can help your leaders, how I can help your team, how I can help your doctors, how I can help your car dealership, how I can help your whatever it is, right? Those conversations, man, you have 5 or 10 of those conversations a week and you are rocking it. It's impossible. It's impossible not to make money, and it's inevitable that you will make money. Some of it might be a $5,000 or $10,000 speaking gig. Some of it might be a multi-$10,000, even $100,000 or multi-$100,000 sponsorship deal. So what Kimberly just opened up there, that could literally be multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars over the next few years. We don't know, but the beginning of it was a conversation. So make a bumper sticker. Again, put this up in your office somewhere. nothing good happens outside of a conversation. More conversations means you get to help more people, serve more people, and cash more checks. So that's a huge win. That's terrific. Let's go to Bob.
Thanks, David. So like a couple other people here, kind of getting those aha moments now in terms of clarity. So was struggling is not the right word, but was really trying to put together what the one sheet and and the why hire sheet, but looking at the going back to having those conversations with my prospects, finding out what their language is, and now putting that into my material, and getting much more clear on the lanes that I want to swim in. So have all those things. I want to do a shout out. I want to thank John Hawkins from the group here. John shared last week his LinkedIn profile page. Made a connection with John, looked at his page, and really crafted my LinkedIn profile page based on what he had. It's a very strong page. So thank you, John, so much for that. And and have had some conversations. Right now I'm working on a proposal for a 6 training, year-long training for 6 times for a very large museum, needing both leadership or training for their leadership team, then a quarterly training for all of their staff. So even just changing my language to speak prospect language and using the words investment. So I'm very encouraged by it.
That is fantastic. And just ballpark pricing on that 6 program package?
Probably looking in the ballpark between 12 to 18,000.
So that's about 2,000 or 3,000 each?
Yes, right now.
Have they seen any pricing from you yet?
No, I haven't even talked to them.
That's a great answer, because you need to at least double that number. Okay. At least double that number. Okay. So anything less than $4,000, $5,000 per program, and danger, Will Robinson. Okay. So, because again, remember what we're talking about here, right? You've got your 4-phase program. You got the whole customer experience thing. There's no bigger, better impact on any company's bottom line than doing a good job at what you teach and train. Nothing. Customer attraction, customer retention, upselling, cross-selling, word-of-mouth marketing. You can tie it to a whole bunch of things. What I'd recommend, Bob, and again, just like Nicolle, Nicolle does this awesome, amazing work. And she was kind of a little vague, little fuzzy on kind of how it ties in to what the company really wants and needs and what some of the big needle movers that they pay very close attention to are. I know that you know this, just like Nicolle knows it in her world. I would just re-marinate yourself in it about customer lifetime value, upselling, cross-selling, first sale versus fourth sale, word of mouth marketing, what would it mean to actually make more money per customer, even 10% more, 15% more, 20% more. You're giving that away for $2,000 or $3,000. I'm like, no, right? $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 per. And what they're getting, it's not even like, let's just do 6x the program. They're getting the continuity. So it's almost like 6 programs because of the connective tissue over that 12-month period. Maybe there's a group call with you every month. Maybe there's a Zoom video conference like this with everyone on the team to answer questions or get strategies. Maybe there's a frontline training for the customer service folks, and then there's a leadership training for how to foster this black tie culture, right? Black tie customer experience culture is what the leaders need. Black tie customer experience is what the frontline worker bees deliver, or the salespeople, or the folks on the phone, or the folks in the field. So you can really load this thing up, and I would, someone's talking to me for like a 6-program deal over the course of a year, I'm automatically going to 30 to 50K in my head. And we'll figure out, backfill what would a 30 to 50K program look like, and that's what they're getting. So do not lowball yourself on that one.
Okay, good. Thank you. Will do.
Yeah, tremendous. Okay, so let's go to Jack and Dena.
Hi, good morning.
Hey there.
So we have a couple wins tied to our speaking event last week in California. We used the evaluation form that you mentioned in Module 7, and it worked out brilliantly because a lot of the testimonials we have to this point is more about the wow factor with the hypnosis demonstration and not a lot about the business message or, more importantly, the business impact. So we were able to capture a lot of really good quotes from folks about their expected results. You know, manage 100 million in assets before year end, you know, gain 50 new clients, quantum leap my production. So it was really beneficial. And over 75% of the survey respondents want to hear more. So we did a nice, you know, summary report for the client. Might it be worth a follow-on conversation? And they scheduled a call for us next week to talk about our training offerings. So it was exciting. And then the other thing was he nailed it. I mean, this was a brand new client. Of any presentation to nail, this was it. And the client asked for a highlight reel because they want to share it with 5 other top branches in the country that are in their study group because they thought they would benefit from the message. And so he created a highlight reel. And so as part of that, now we have those, what you had recommended on how to better leverage the video that we take. Now we've got those 2 to 5 minute snippets that we can put on the website as kind of like those little sizzle reels. So it all just worked out beautifully. So I just want to thank you for all your advice, and we're putting it into action and it's working. And I didn't mean to take over the conversation.
No, I love it. I totally love it. Jack, anything to add to that, or you're just going to bask in that glory about this guy's pretty good? He's actually really pretty good sometimes.
I'll just build on it a little bit. That survey form, you know, it was great. Like you said, the numbers don't matter. Surprisingly, one guy gave me like a 4 out of 5 for 2 of the categories, but then said my impact was only a 2. So that one was kind of weird, but he was an outlier. Everybody else was almost 4s and 5s across the board. But the important thing was that feedback, because now the employees, the agents are selling me to their management team. I don't even have to do the selling. They're doing it for me. So that's the important takeaway.
Yeah, no, that's really, really great. And again, just to catch some of the newer folks, or if you missed that particular call, we're talking about a couple of different things. Number one is if you have some video assets, chunk out the video so that each video supports one of the key points of your program. So, you know, here's Jack on leadership. Here's Jack on profitability. Here's Jack on communication skills. Here's Jack on teamwork. If those were components of his overall program that had a very clear focus, but then you could pull out, well, you know, our theme this year is, you know, leadership. Okay, great. You know, part of my sales program is about leadership. By the way, are you in front of your computer? Yes, great. Pop over to this page, click on video number 3, and there's the entire little 3 to 4 minute clip that's specifically about leadership if that's what they want. The second thing that we're talking about, which is in the training, which is how to use the evaluation form for marketing purposes. So it's not about, hey, it was a 10 out of 10 or it was 7 out of 10 or whatever. It was, you know, what is based on today's content, what results do you expect to create in your business over the next 6 to 12 months? And that's where people are putting on Jack's form, oh my God, $50 million additional assets under management, our best year ever, we're going to triple the size of our business. Those are the kind of testimonials that he's getting, because it's not like, what was the best thing about the program?
Yes.
Oh, I like the magic. I liked when he pulled a rabbit out of his pants. No one cares about that. It's what's the expected, based on today's content, what is the expected impact in your business? And again, we can all do this with leadership, customer service, sales, presentation skills, your car dealership, your hospital, your wellness, your weight loss, whatever it is that we're teaching. That is the magic way to frame that question. And the last thing that we're talking about is how to summarize those evaluations, go back to your economic buyer and say, by the way, 70% of the folks would love to have me back to talk about X. So now the upselling and the cross-selling is just a natural extension of you serving that client. You're not knocking on their door going, hey, pay me some more money. Hey, bring me back. I'm pretty awesome. You say your people want, your people need, your people are asking for. right? And then you're simply there to pass along that information that, 70% wanted this topic, 62% were excited about this, and, 54% wouldn't mind another program on topic number 3. That's a report back to the client. And it's a huge way to help you market follow-on programs and additional work, because all you're doing is you're saying, here's what they want. Here's what they said they would value. Here's what they need from you, right? The association person, the conference producer, the VP of sales, the VP of leadership development, whatever it is, whoever your economic buyer is, you're simply serving up to them. Here's what your folks are telling me that they'd like or that they need. Huge home run, guys, on all of those fronts. Really, really well done. Let's go to Susan Scanlon next.
Hey, David. Yes, like Nicolle, I had an incredible co-working day yesterday, and I completed both the one sheet and the 8 reasons for meeting planners. I had previously done the banking one, and I'm putting the final tweaks on both of those, and I believe they're ready for Allison. But even more exciting is I'm going to be having a lot of air conversations. I'm committing to going to the Pennsylvania Women's Banking Conference on Monday, just as I'm sneaking in the door, and I'm obviously paying to register, but I'd like to speak there next year or even before that and get a feel for, how people present. That's where Roxanne Emmerich will be.
Yes.
And just wanted to network at every possible chance at lunch, the 2-hour networking event the day before. And I think I have my verbal business cards for banking. I'm just going to sell myself as I'm positioned financial professionals as the trusted go-to source for seniors. And that'll just be on the tip of my tongue. And whenever I converse, I'll have that ready. Just because my hard business cards aren't prepared yet, but I have old ones. But this is a brand new market for me, so it's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, and the verbal business card is even more important than the paper business card, right? Because in the context of who you're talking to, you can simply frame that up. So if I were in a room full of accountants, I would not use my generic one. What I would say is I speak to groups of accountants, right? Instead of small and solo business owners, because that's generic. Accountants is specific, and who want to do a better job with their marketing and grow their firm. Right? Because accountants have firms, they don't have companies. So even some of that little language shift, the vocabulary shift that is in the context of the exact type of person that you're speaking to, they go, oh my God, do you have a card? And then at that point, what's actually on the card is irrelevant. They want your email and your phone number because they want to work with you at that point. So if the card is out of sync with your verbal business card, doesn't matter. That's okay. Nowhere on my business card does it say accountants. Nowhere on my business card does it say consultants. Nowhere on my business card does it say, engineering firms, even though those are all in the professional services arena where I might be invited to speak. I work with engineering firms who want their partners and their engineers to do a better job with marketing and, bring in more projects, because projects is an engineering term. Again, I just shifted it a third way. So don't worry about what, you don't need to carry 7 different business cards and play pick a card. You have one business card that is your main value prop, and then the rest you're simply flexing and putting that into context for the person that you're speaking to at that moment.
I see. So basically saying, I work with financial advisors who want to attract new, do you say like wealthy clients, or how do you say that without sounding Monday,
if you're going to the bankers conference, it's just bankers.
Okay.
It's just like exactly who you are.
Okay.
So, if I'm at a customer service conference, I work with customer service professionals who want to, because the overwhelming chance is that you're talking to a customer service professional. At the banking conference, the overwhelming chance is you're talking to a banker. So don't genericize it when you're in a situational environment. The situational environment, I work with people just like you.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I went to the IMC conference in December, for example, which was the Institute of Management Consultants, I said, I work with consultants. I work with consultants and small consulting firms, because I wasn't sure if they were solo or with a small firm. I work with consultants and small consulting firms on doing a better job with their marketing and get more clients and make more money. And people are like, oh my God, that's what we need. That's exactly what. Again, right? My arena is professional services on the speaking side. as far as in here, it's going to be consultants, speakers, experts, people who have a speaking driven business. I would even make that more specific if I was in a room full of speaking driven professionals.
Okay.
But you can just flex that as needed.
Oh, thank you. That's really helpful.
Totally. So let's see. Drew has something big. This is going to be big. We're ready.
This is huge. Before I started the class, I had never sold a speech for more than $1,000. That's it.
Right.
And I sold my first program that doesn't even exist yet. I've never done it yet, to a real estate team leader. And it's a cool, different, awesome program. It's a client development, business development, client cultivation tool where I team up with a singer-songwriter here in Texas. And we put on an evening. It's called Inspirational Notes, a night of music and motivation. And I told them how much I would charge and enough to compensate my artist. And they said, not a problem. Done. So huge.
And that amount is?
$5,200.
Very nice. Very nice. That is fantastic. So from making that leap from never more than 1,000 to 5,200, boom, easy done. And the guy didn't push back on the price and just, it was like easy peasy, correct?
Absolutely. And it's a female, and she had heard me speak before, and she knew what she was doing. The cool part about it is we kind of have our run of show in place, and we had a conference call yesterday just to iron some stuff out. And this happens pretty quick. It happens at the end of March. She said, we only want you to talk for 30 minutes. And I'm like, that's fine with me. You're the same amount. Let's ride.
Right.
So yeah, it's really cool. And props to Teresa for, and Allison for that matter, for pushing me to really push that program to other real estate agents as that business development and client cultivation tool. Because it is such a unique, different type of deal.
That is really, really exciting. I love that. I love that. Now, the next step of this, because of course the high is the new baseline. Everyone needs to make a bumper sticker of that one too, right? When you get that 5,200 deal, there's no reason for any other deal to come in at less than that. Like that becomes on the ladder. When you climb up the ladder, your feet are now where your hands used to be. And it's like, well, why in the world would I do anything for less than 5,200 bucks? The next rung of the ladder that you're reaching for is Drew gets 5,200 and the music guy gets 2,500, and now the program is 7,700 or whatever that needs to be. So now you are getting 5,200 every time you show up. Drew solo is this much. Drew with the act is that much, and that's great. But let's celebrate. Let's acknowledge this is a huge, huge, huge step for you. And congratulations and virtual high five on
Appreciate it.
Yeah, really big win. Love that. All right, let's see. Kelly. What do you got? Big win, celebration. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. And no, I've just been having some really great, what we call air conversations with some people. It's like, like initially it was really helpful. And I've had a conversation with somebody else about getting all of the changes made in our top reasons to hire and the speaker sheet and getting all of the text correct, and working with Teresa and working with Allison. And then I did make a change on my LinkedIn profile. And then I actually quickly built a website, which I'm not a website developer, but having the text and everything, I just did a simple, no frills website to get it out there so I could send the link to people and then send my articles. And it's developing into some really great conversations. Of course, I'm introducing a whole new program to the business or the industry of radio. Which obviously, because I've been doing FCC compliance work for so many years, it's kind of melding together in a way.
Yeah.
But it's becoming it. But just the changing my LinkedIn profile to be more focused, hyper focused, has really increased my visibility. And then it's like actually while we're on these calls, I'm listening, and then in another window, I'm actually like reaching out to people on LinkedIn, sharing the article, and this has been a really great exercise for me. And, like yesterday I talked to an FCC attorney. Today I talked to somebody who does media research for political advertising. And even though they're not my specific target, they're connected to my targets in a really
Right.
high way. So the air conversations are really helpful. And so is all of the being able to change all of the marketing materials and getting the help there. So for me, that's a huge win, because I was guilty of being one of those all things to all people kind of, so not anymore. This has been really great. So this has been,
Love it. Fantastic. And that's exactly the kind of little micro, and not little, but celebration along the way. Because once you nail that, once you nail the next thing, you start having conversations, and then it's like a chemical reaction.
Right.
All of a sudden, like 1 + 1 + 1 = 10.
Yeah.
Because we're talking, just like with Drew's experience, right? Okay, I got the clarity. Okay, I've got the marketing material. Okay, I'm having the conversation. I'm reaching out. New program doesn't exist yet. Not going to let that get in my way, right? And just having the clarity and the straight line to being able to solve their problem with whatever, right? Speaking, coaching, consulting, any of our monetizable opportunities that you want to create, even the ones that don't exist yet. You'll figure it out, right? Service delivery is not anyone's problem in here. You guys are all awesome at what you do. You've got a wealth of experience and expertise. It just needs to be repackaged and focused on a specific problem that a specific set of people have that they are happy and willing to pay money for. And trust me, you hit the right kind of problem, people are happy and willing, and in fact, they're expecting to pay money, which is why I was cautioning Bob not to make his program too cheap, because they're probably thinking, gosh, a guy of this caliber, 6 programs, it's going to be at least $60,000. He shows up, it's $12,000. No. They're expecting 60, so you charge 30 or 40, right? And they go, oh, that's still a bargain. Gosh, I thought it would be closer to 60. I thought it would be 60,000. Thank God it's only 35,000. And he was going to go in there charging 12 or 18. It's like, no, not 12 or 18. 35, again, willing, able, and expecting to pay a serious expert like all of you a serious fee to solve a serious problem. That's the magic in here. So well done. Well done on those steps.
Thanks.
That is really great. All right, let's go right to our question queue then. I think we've got some, again, Morgan just reading my mind as always. So we've got Ted, Nicolle, Jack and Dena, Kimberly, and Kristie. So Ted's question is about realistic goals for number of keynotes. What's the average number per year that you see? For those in here, how many you do in 2017? Okay, so here's the deal. And I'll give you an answer, and then we can get to specifically your situation once you hear the answer. Do you want to be an average person? So I've got a friend who was hiring a sales team, and a question came in from one of his applicants, and says, so what does an average person on your team make? And you know what the comeback was? The average person on my team is fired. There are no average people on my team. The average person on my team doesn't last very long. The average person on my team is fired. I like that answer, and she's a very smart business owner. I was like, I should probably borrow that line at some point. That's a great line. But what is it? An average speaker's broke. An average speaker's broke. I'll run the numbers with you guys, and that's probably why you're here, because you don't want to be an average speaker, and being average doesn't make any sense. Shooting for average doesn't make any sense. 94%, this isn't just speakers, but it's entrepreneurs. 94% of non-employer business owners, meaning companies of one, 94% make less than $100,000 per year. 94%. So this is all like the part-time real estate agents, the part-time, I'm kind of a consultant, which means I'm unemployed, right? So some of these people make very little money. And then there's more serious entrepreneurs like us. But still, if you look at the math, and this is from the, what's it called? The big entrepreneurship research foundation. I forget the name. I'll post the study. It'll just scare the pants off you. It's fantastic. So 94% are less than 6 figures. Only 2% are at 7 figures and above. And out of all the small businesses, right, there's about 27 million small businesses in the US, all but 5 million of them are solo businesses. So 22 million out of the 27 million are companies of one. And so that's just an astounding statistic. So why you'd want to aim for average, I don't know. What you want to aim for is your specific goals. So if your business model and your revenue model says, I want to speak 3 times a month and I want $10,000 per speech, then that's what you go for, right? The average people are working at Starbucks. The average people put on the green apron and they go, I can't cut it as an entrepreneur. What kind of latte would you like today? Do you want half calf? Do you want froth, whip, no whip, extra hot? That's what an average entrepreneur does. So you don't want to go there. But beyond that answer, which is a non-answer, of course, what's your goal and what do you see as your pathway to that goal, Ted? How's that going to work if you want 3 of those gigs at $10,000 a month every month? Ted may still be on mute. So yeah, go ahead and unmute if you have any more texture behind that question. I'm happy to dig into that with you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, there you are.
Yeah, so the question is, and the goal is I'd like to do 50,000 keynotes a day. But since we have this coaching that you gave us that we need to compare ourselves to those that we're in the right level of, don't compare yourself to, the $500,000 speaker when you're a $2,000 speaker. You have to be realistic. It's about the steps you spoke about earlier, right? Yeah. So the question wasn't how many keynotes does an average speaker do, because I totally agree. An average speaker doesn't get out of bed and do the marketing to do any keynotes. The question was, since I'm kind of in that level of $10,000 speaker, not 2, but not 30, right?
Yeah.
Those are very good speakers that I see getting paid $10,000. They've been doing it a while. They're professional. They're good. They're not average. They might even be great speakers if they're getting a $10,000 keynote. And I like your definition too. A keynote is not a breakout session or a general session. The keynote is the keynote. It's when they do the marketing, this picture is on the front page of the marketing, not everybody's breakout, right? So come see this guy. Those are good or great speakers, not average. But everybody would like to do 150 platforms a month. You just can't target that realistically.
Well, so it's the perception of how busy you want to be versus how much money you want to make. You don't want to be speaking 20 days a year, even 20 days a month, rather, even if that was possible. It's just not desirable, I don't think.
Yeah. So the question is, if you took 10 great speakers, not average, that are making $10,000 a keynote, are they doing 50 a year? Are they doing 30 a year?
That's exactly right. It's going to be somewhere between. In fact, I just met a guy. I was at a retreat in San Diego, and Brian Kramer, who's a very smart marketing guy, friend of mine, he did 50 some keynotes in 2017. And he charges between 10 and 20K depending on what they add on and what else they get. But the basic just keynote only was 10. And he was really happy doing 50. His problem was that he had no back end after that. There was like, okay, they get me to speak. I said, well, what else can they buy from you? My book? That's not a good answer, right? So because otherwise he's going to exhaust himself. He needs more gigs to make more money. And then that only scales to a certain amount. But like a guy like Brian Kramer, who wrote the book H to H, Human to Human Marketing, is a great example. Super smart guy, very capable, very competent, not fancy, not glamorous. He's a little chubby Jewish guy, And, he's not one of these rock stars that was on TV and has the broadcaster hair and the perfect teeth. He just looks like an average schlub who's a smart guy. And 10K, 20K, that's the range. Some come in at 10, some are 15, some are 20 if they do like a multi-day thing. And he got 50 of them. And he's really happy with that. He just doesn't have the back end to support the rest of the business when he's not on the road.
Is that what you see as kind of average is 50 platforms in a year for a good
Well,
keynote
again,
speaker?
I hate to hold up these very, very successful people and say that's average. So let's do an averagectomy from your vocabulary, right? That's the goal. That's the goal. Is I would set a really good goal as, 3-4 times a month, I'm out there doing my thing for a $10,000 check. And if that's what you want, that's $30,000 or $40,000 a month, right, of front end revenue. And then you can get them into your coaching and consulting and back end offers as well, training, whatever. So I mean, the goal, a realistic goal, right? Ambitious, but totally doable. I mean, Brian does it. A lot of people do it. Karen Buxman is there. She's doing these 40, 50 programs a year, now pivoting into her new brand, into her new positioning. Jaden's on track to do that. And again, he was just kind of coming out of, not a lot of speaking experience, a lot of great corporate experience, but he's now getting these checks, and it's just a question of getting the momentum and getting that quantity to be a regular, consistent thing.
Yeah. So programs versus keynotes, though, you say most people that are doing a good job, like Brian and Karen and Jane, are doing 50 keynotes?
Well, so Karen, yes, and Brian Kramer, yes. Jaden's doing a combination of some keynoting and then some full day sessions, because he likes doing both. I mean, again, that just depends on your speaking model and what your distribution method is for your expertise. When I was at the height of my speaking income, not the rest of my empire, it was rare for me to do keynotes because I didn't like that format. I loved having a group for half a day or a full day and really kind of do a deep dive, roll up the sleeves and kind of slap them around for a little bit. That was fun for me. I didn't want to do the talking head 45-minute thing. Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, and I think that's the key is, and you've said many times, you got to start where you're at and then go from there. And right now I'm kind of doing 10 to 12 a year. And I think the goal is to get this marketing ramped up to where we're doing I just don't know what the next jump is, if it's to get to 30. And I guess I'd be curious as far as anybody else in the group, if they're doing.
So here's what we can open it up. Certainly if people have some experience or some words of wisdom for you. I would say that the organic ramp up, if you really work the system, have the conversations, do the outreach, do the targeting, show up as a relevant resource to exactly the right kind of buyers. 2 a month is, you should be able to get 2 a month like almost right now. And then keep working the system, keep increasing the consistency. There's going to be some repeat business baked into that, some referral business baked into that. Hey, Ted, can you come and do it over here? Hey, Ted, I'm on the board of this other thing. Can you come and do it there? I would say within 3 to 4 months, you're doing 3 per month consistently. And I would say it's perfectly natural if that extension continues within the next 6 to 9 months, then you're hitting your 4 a month, 4 a month, 4 a month, 4 a month, just because you keep working the system and you keep doing great work and you keep getting passed along, and there's upselling and cross-selling and referrals and all kinds of other things that start to give you more momentum.
Yeah, that's helpful. That's what I was looking for. Is there is a progression, and you want to set your goals, around what is it going from 1 a month to 2 a month to 3 a month, and then that makes sense because I think nobody says, well, I'm doing 12. I think I'll set my goal at 50, and then all your whole marketing team's demotivated and whatever. Like, oh, great. I mean, I love it. It's great vision, but we got to have some. I shouldn't use the word average. I see somebody posted in the comments. Why am I so fixated on average? I'm fixated on average because I'm not talking qualitatively, right? Like average speaker or I'm talking quantitatively. The average is a mean, right? I'm a Six Sigma black belt. It's a number. It's not about what you think about it or how good, whether you get out of bed or not. You did 50, you did 40, you did 25. Let's add those 3 together, divide by 3, and that's the average number, right? It's a mean score. That's all I'm looking at. If people are doing an average of 24, setting a goal for 50 is unrealistic, right? So let's look at the average number.
And then also look at that rate of acceleration that once you have enough conversations, a couple extra dates will fall onto your calendar.
Yeah.
So you go from 2 to 3 and then 3 to 4. And that timeline is a reasonable expectation of a good timeline of where you'll start to see those results.
Yeah, so I think what I'm taking out of this conversation is we need to go from 12 to 24 in 2018 on our way to 50, which is, of course, nobody's setting a goal for average. You don't get to a $10,000, 12 keynotes a year by thinking average, right? That
there you go. There you go.
And then John, $2,000 deal.
Yeah, totally right. And then John just popped a comment in here also that if you happen to have a multi-day format, then those checks just get commensurately bigger. So then
we have
more work for bigger checks, take a 2-day trip instead of a 1-day trip and double your income.
Yeah, we have the whole breakdown structure that you talk about with consulting and follow-up and whatever. And that's another question I have for another day, which is what part of your, revenue mix is keynotes versus multi-day programs versus whatever, because that's all part of the business. Like you said, it's about using speaking to drive your business, not having a speaking business. But yeah, I mean, we do lots of multi-day $120,000 deals, so I just want to dial in the keynote because that for us is a very big leverageable thing. Every time I get off a platform and do a keynote, we come up with another $150,000 multi-day deal as a follow-up. So if I could double the keynotes from 12 to 24 to 50, then look what that does to the multi-day programs or whatever, right?
Right,
so
exactly. It's a force multiplier all the way down the line.
Right. Yeah, good. Thanks.
Yeah, you bet. Perfect. All right. Let's go to Nicolle. I reached out to my competitors, subscribed to their newsletters, reached them on LinkedIn. One sent me an email asking, what had you reach out to me? Is there some way I can help you? It's like, oops. So it's a very easy answer. Two options really. One is to ignore them. And I'm not crazy about that. I like being very honest and ethical and transparent. And you say, hey, as someone who is, nothing you can help with right now. Thank you for asking. I always like to follow smart people in my field. That's it. I always like to stay, and then I would also turn it around saying, by the way, is there some way I can help you? Right? So don't let her pull the status thing on you like, hey, little girl, is there something I can help you with? You want a lollipop? It's like, no. As a matter of fact, I like following smart people in my field. And, no needs right now. In fact, is there some way that I can be of service to you? Because remember, you are the bomb.com. And so maybe you are more in a position to help her than she's in a position to help you. Mic drop. I mean, again, this is the status, this is the internal conditioning that we need to show up in the world, right? Is like, I'm pretty awesome. I'm doing my competitive scan. Joey Schmedlap out here who's doing, 20, 25 keynotes a year and big speaker, big coach, big consultant. That's great. Sign up for his newsletter. Here's the other lesson, by the way. The other lesson is, imagine if we responded the way that she just did, right? So someone, here's how to blow someone's mind. If you guys have like the website, some kind of email newsletter already going, you can totally freak people out, especially if you can see that it's kind of a client type person, not so much in this competitive scan context, but they opt in, they download something, they sign up for your email list, there's some little ping in your world, right? They connect with you on LinkedIn, they connect with you on Facebook. Find them, right? If you can find their phone number, it's even better, but you can find their phone number, give them a call. I mean, I've just had a ton of fun with this. I just freak people out where like they opt in, they download something, they say, hey, David, thanks for the PDF or whatever. I find them in my database or I'm connected with them on LinkedIn. I pull up their phone number and I'll just literally pick up the phone. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is. I say, hey, Jim, yeah, it's David Newman. You just sent me a very nice note through our contact form. I wanted to see how else I can help you. What else is going on? What made you download that thing? Really? Wow, that's really cool. What else are you working on? All right, well, if there's anything that I can ever do to help you or your team or your group, don't hesitate to give me a call. Oh my, is it really you? Oh my God, you'll just freak them out. You will totally freak them out. For no other reason than no one does that, right? No big company does that. No entrepreneur does that because it seems a little creepy. It seems like a little, but if you frame it the right way, hey, I just happen to be in front of my computer and you just popped on my screen because you filled out our contact form, I happen to be in the office for the next couple hours, wanted to just kind of see how I can help you. What's going on? What prompted you to get in touch? What prompted you to download the goodie? What prompted you to, buy my ebook or whatever the heck they're doing? And you will just freak people out, and you never know it. It's a very easy conversation to have because you're now the celebrity. Even as a non-celebrity, we're all non-celebrities, but you celebritize yourself by picking up the phone and saying, hey, I just happened to be in front of my computer. I saw your thing come across. Just wanted to reach out and see how I can help you. Now, some of those people will be like real paying clients, and it's like, well, as a matter of fact, and now you're off to the races. So, take a lesson, Nicolle, the other way too, not just, oh, how do I respond when they say, yeah, it's imagine if we did this to our audience, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant, no matter how rarely this happens, but it's the responsiveness that they react to. Like, oh my God, is it really you? I was just on your website. It's like, yeah, I know, that's why I'm calling. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And you'll have some very fun conversations if you start to do that. So if you guys, again, if you have that going on, try that this week and let me know what happens. But does that answer your question, Nicolle, as far as how to respond in that high status kind of peer-to-peer way?
Yes.
Good.
And the flip of it was helpful as well. If somebody comes through, for me to reach out to them, because that's not something that they're expecting, and that makes me a little different in their eyes.
Exactly right. Yeah, for sure. All right. So next question is from Jack and Dena. Do I think Facebook ads work for speakers? If so, how do you suggest setting them up? So very, very easy answer. The answer is no. Facebook ads do not work for speakers. I could go into why if you want, but just the short answer is no. And again, your experience, because you said that you've tried it, it's like, oh yeah, it sucks, it's terrible. It's just, yeah. So the way meeting planners and conference producers and association executives and corporate executives buy speakers or find speakers or connect with speakers, it's not from a Facebook ad, right? Any kind of direct mass marketing. So I had people do all kinds of things. Like, should I send out 1,000 postcards? Should I buy a list? Should I send out those batch and blast emails on LinkedIn? The answer to all of those is yes, if you want to piss your clients off. If you want to piss off your prospects, that is a fantastic way to mass market to them, irritate them, annoy them, show up on their radar as a peddler and as a needy, desperate goofball. If you don't want to show up on their radar as a needy, desperate goofball, then we're not doing any mass marketing. We're not sending out 1,000 postcards. We're not blasting them with spam. We're not doing robo-dials. We're not buying a text messaging platform that says, hey, are you looking for a good speaker? And send that out to some uploaded list, right? Again, my friend Brian Kramer, human to human, right? Our entire goal here, into all the campaigns, all the work that we do in here is about high touch, high relevance, low volume, trusted advisor style outreach. And I'll go over those high, low for you again. High relevance, meaning you show up with a relevant solution, exactly what they want, exactly what they need, solving the exact problem that you know they have. High relevance, low volume, right? 5 or 10 conversations a week will get you a $300,000-$400,000 business, $400,000 of additional revenue on top of what you're doing now, right? Literally 5 to 10 conversations per week. And high relationship, right? High relationship, human to human, right? It's about the connection. It's about the rapport. It's about the relevance. It's about, wow, she really understands what's going on. He really gets my business, right? So we talk in the training, in the online training, we talk about the get it, need it, want it factor, that they have to get it, they have to need it, they have to want it, and they have to want it with a sense of urgency. The whole universe doesn't get it, need it, or want it, let alone with urgency. A very specific subset of the people that you're reaching out to with your active 20, with the exact corporations, associations, groups, and conferences where you have a high degree of confidence that you would be a great addition to their lineup exactly what their members want, exactly what their members need. It's on track with what they're already trying to provide at that conference or inside that company. It ties into some of their strategic initiatives of what you can see on their website, in their annual report, in the press releases that you get if you set Google alerts for your target companies, right? Say, hey, you know, Amazon is opening an entirely new distribution center in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Great. If I'm looking at, you know, call center, I'm looking at customer service, I'm looking at hiring, firing, I'm looking at rewards and recognition programs, I'm going to find the person that's quoted in that news release, you know? So it's like the Southwest Regional VP of Amazon Logistics says, we're so excited, we've got 900 new people coming into this facility in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I'm going to find that person on LinkedIn. I'm going to find that person's email address. I'm going to connect with that person on Facebook. I'm going to say, dear Bob, just saw about the new distribution center coming into Santa Fe. You know, if you'll be recruiting some frontline folks to work in that call center, I have some ideas to share with you. Oh, that's so pushy. Oh, that's so salesy. I have some ideas to share with you, right? You're the expert. You're the trusted advisor. You open the conversation, right? It's easy. But that's what I mean by high relevance, low volume, high relationship outreach. And you can do that based on trigger events. What I just described to you is a trigger event where you see something in the news, or there's a shift, or there's a merger, or there's an acquisition, or there's a new burst of hiring, or there's a new industry regulation, there's a new compliance angle to something, and you're like, uh-oh, my clients, my audiences are going to be impacted by that, or this company is going to be impacted by that, or this industry is going to be impacted by that. Who owns this problem, and how can I show up on their radar as a high relevance trusted advisor type solution? Not a pitch person, not a peddler, not a, hey, do you hire speakers? Oh, you want me to come in and speak? But how can you show up and really solve their problem? And that could take a lot of forms. That could be speaking, that could be webinars, that could be a video series, that could be a sponsorship, that could be buying 10,000 copies of your book if you have a book. If you don't have a book, then it won't be 10,000 copies of your book. But basically, you're showing up to solve their problem, not to sell a speech or to sell a program. I'm not even sure how I got onto that, but that was an answer to someone's question about something, but it was important for y'all to hear that, so good. Facebook ads, right. So that's the long answer to the Facebook ads question. I could have just left it at no. Do Facebook ads work for speakers? No. Next question, Kimberly. Kimberly is saying, presuming I'm reaching decision makers, have my message, voicemail, or email spot on, and they don't respond. What's a reasonable follow-up strategy to gain their attention, move the outreach forward? So I'm a huge believer in a multi-touch kind of campaign. So some people are phone people. I'm almost embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say this. Anyone who calls me, I'm never calling you back. Yeah. Meeting planner, conference producer. It's like, oh yeah, gosh, it's a phone message. It's a voicemail. I just hate the phone. I hate the phone more than I hate dental work. So it's just bad. So, and again, this isn't even me prospecting. This is me, right, getting hired. This is a block in my head where it's like, yeah, I'm not calling that person back. Yeah, there could be a $10,000 check on the other end of it. Yeah, I'm not calling him back. So I will email them. I'll send them something on LinkedIn. If we're already connected on Facebook, I'd love to send them a Facebook Messenger. I just can't stand the phone. So our prospects are the same way. Phone people love the phone. They hate email. They never look in their emails. Email people love email. They never look at their phone. They never even listen to their messages. You pick up their phone. It's like, dude, you got 17 unheard messages. You're like, I don't care. I don't care. Right? So you need to kind of understand their preferred channel and then communicate on their preferred channel. If it's a new contact, what that means is you don't know their preferred channel. So you can leave a voicemail. If that doesn't get answered, try email. If they don't answer voicemail and email, then go to LinkedIn. If they don't answer voicemail, email, or LinkedIn, send them a handwritten note. Stamp it, put it out. 2 days later, they get it. Whatever they respond to is what they prefer.
Right.
So if I email them and they email me back within 20 minutes, I know I got an email person. If I call and they call me back that afternoon, I know I got a phone person. If I do something on LinkedIn and they respond to my LinkedIn message, within hours or the next day, I know they're a LinkedIn person. And I'll just stay in that channel with them because that's what they like. That's what they respond to. So multi-touch, right? Don't get discouraged. And also don't be a pest. So what the mistake people make is, hey, I left you a voicemail yesterday. And then you call back tomorrow. Hey, I left you 2 voicemails. And then the next day, hey, by the way, this is my 3rd voicemail now. Hello. They hate the phone. They hate the phone. So don't keep hammering down that one channel. Same with email, right? Don't keep cluttering up their email inbox because you'll become a pest really quickly. If you do that multi-touch campaign, kind of triangulate around how they prefer to be communicated with, then you'll understand kind of what they respond to, and then that's the channel in which you stay.
Thank you. My challenge is going, getting started with a conference specific speaking opportunity. You don't know any of these people. I have no concept. And what my typical protocol is email introduction. What's their problem? What's their issue? If there's not, because I do more corporate speaking than I do conference speaking, and so I do exactly what you say. I email first, then I leave a voicemail referencing the email. Then if I don't, and this is like a week, 6, 7, 8 days in between all of these, then I go to LinkedIn. I'll reference the email and the phone call, and I just keep on going around the chain. And then it's like, okay, what point? So my last communication is typically, I've reached out on multiple channels. Perhaps this is not a good time for you. I'm not going to bug you and stalk you. I'll put you in my tickler and follow up with you in the next couple of months, but feel free to reach out to me, if I can be of service. And then I maybe give a link to the email.
So the only recommendation I would have is to maybe tighten that time frame just a little bit, because people are super busy, right? The world's going 100 miles an hour in hyperspace past their windscreen. Don't wait 7 or 8 days till the next touch. Do 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
So if I reach out to someone on Monday, I leave a voicemail on Monday, nothing on Tuesday, nothing on Wednesday, I'll tap them again on Thursday. Mm-hmm. I'll do a 3-4 day. If I do an email and I want to resend the email, because sometimes they get lost in the email tsunami, I might even leave 2 voicemails and then switch, or send 2 emails and then switch. Sometimes I'll send the email that just resends the original email from Monday, and the one-liner at the top is, "Dear Susan, just resending the below in case it got lost in the shuffle. Please do let me know." And that's literally what it says. "Dear Susan," or whomever.
I do the exact same thing, except in the subject line. So I'll send the first email. If I don't hear anything, I wait maybe 4 days. I'll take that, go back into the sent folder, forward it. But in the subject line in all caps, I'll put resending. And
see, all caps, I'm very hesitant with all caps, because that seems like we're scolding them, or it's like make wrong. It's like, hey, dummy, you didn't reply the first time. What's wrong with you? It just seems a little bit.
Okay, so we make it upper lower caps, and then I'll just say,
I wouldn't even put resending. I would just put like RE, lowercase e, RE colon, like in reply to, right? RE colon, and then just say, "Dear Bob, just resending the below in case it got lost in the shuffle. Please do let me know either way." The "please do let me know," by the way, that's the trigger. They go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm such a bad person. I didn't mean to ignore you. Yes, I'd like to talk." Or, they say, "Hey, this really isn't a fit for us, but thanks for getting in touch." So that "please do" kind of shames them a little bit into responding. And so that's an important part of that resend.
I just see here that Susan asked, should we do a bomb video before a written mail?
I like that as another channel. Sure. I mean, because that's very personal, and that is very much kind of one-to-one, human to human, right? To quote my friend Brian Kramer again. I like doing a bomb video, and then that video email, you can tell when they open it, you can tell when they've watched it. As soon as they open it, as soon as they watch it, that they're at their computer. That's when you pick up the phone. That's when you pick up the phone. You're like, "Oh my God, I was just watching your video."
Yeah.
I know. I know. Now you don't tell them. You just say, oh, "Isn't that funny? What a coincidence!" Well, I'm glad that we're connecting now, and then you're off to the races.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Yeah, that BombBomb stuff, that's like voodoo magic. So BombBomb, again, for the folks that are just joining us, that's a video email platform that you can shoot a quick 30, 40-second video, send that via email, and then the screenshot, the thumbnail shows up in their email, and it's completely trackable as to when they open the email and when they play the video. And people often open it multiple times, and you'll see some people even play it multiple times because it's so cool. And they go, wow, this is awesome. This person took time out of their day. Right? This is why it's so powerful. When you shoot a video, you say, hey, Nicolle, I'm looking to, serve your group with X, Y, and Z. Just wanted to see if this might be a fit. Whenever it's convenient for you, my phone number is 610, blah, 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 blah. They go, oh my God, Nicolle took time out of her day to make me a video. So now it's that human to human, right? They know it's not mass market. They know it's not batch and blast. They know that not everyone's name is Nicolle. So I'm speaking specifically to her, and so they're much more likely to respond then. It's a small thing, but it's really cool the way that people respond to it. All right. Kristie wants to launch my group coaching program in the next 2 months. When you first started your program, how did you decide length, amount of content, videos, platform, etc.? Did you do research? Did you have all 7 modules? Wow, that's like 17 questions. So I did have the online training portal ready to go. I started out with, so I booted and rebooted this a couple of different times before it's in its current format. This has been in its current format since January of 2017. I started out with one person. And I actually have a screenshot. I'll post this in the group if I can put my hands on it real quick. So it was a Zoom call. 1 square. It was her and me. And then of course, because we're, constantly looking and talking to people. At first it was organic outreach, way before this kind of crazy machine that we've built. I was going back in my Rolodex. I was talking to the folks that are kind of calling me and saying, can I hire you one-on-one? Can I do this? Can I do that? I said, well, no. I have this awesome mentoring program. It's called the Speaker Profit Formula, and blah, blah, blah. Person number 2 came in, and then person number 3, and then 4. And then, so from January, we had 1 person. By the middle of March, it was like this. And so I have 2 screenshots that I share with people about, well, how do you get started? I said, you start with 1. You start literally, well, you didn't start with 1. It's like, yeah, I started with 1. And then when I started doing this format again, previous versions, previous iterations, back going to 2014, 2015, I started with 1 there. But I totally kind of threw out the baby with the bathwater. January 2017, kind of restarted and rebooted it in this much better, faster, smarter way. Start with 1. By March, we had, 10, 15, 20 going at once. And then it's, people graduate and then people come in and sort of this is the size that we're at today. So, I would encourage you to be patient. And the other thing that I would encourage you to do, if this becomes your primary method of helping people and serving people and sharing your intellectual property, I would turn a lot of other things off. I wouldn't turn off the speaking, obviously. But if you say, well, I've got, my one-on-one program is this and my semi-private program is that, and I just sell this online course, and then I have this like annual membership thing. It's like, no, too much going on. So my business model right now is I speak, and then people that want to work with me in any way, shape, form, or capacity, hi, this is it. This is it. This is it. And so that's it. So the focus of saying my business model is super clear. I run my mouth, right? And then I come in here and I help people. And that's it. Well, can I get you? No. Well, can I just, no. Can I just sign up for, no. So Steve Jobs of Apple Computer, back when he was alive, he said to Jonathan Ive, he said, how many times have you said no today? How many times have you said no today? Well, we're going to build a phone with just 1 button. There's no phone that just has 1 button. No, we're building a phone that only has 1 button. Well, can we put on, no. Can we have a, no. Can we do, how about if we, no. One button, iPhone 10 has no button, but anyway, no button, one button, right? So how many times have you said no today? How many times have you said no to a topic that doesn't fit? How many times have you said no to an audience that doesn't fit, that's not your people? How many times have you said no to a fee that doesn't fit? Can you come in for $1,000? No, I can't come in for $1,000. Can we work with you for the next 7 years? No, I don't have a 7-year program. So think about that, truly. If you want to have a great offering and a great company and a great business and a great life, often this is defined by what you say no to. What are you saying no to? Wrong audience, wrong topic, wrong format, wrong fit, not my people. That's not how I work. That's not how I deliver my best and highest value. That's not what we do here. I mean, literally, even if you're a company of one, you say, that's not what we do here. That's not how it works. They go, well, why not? Because it's not as effective as what we do here. So, right, I'm not in the speaking business, the training business, the coaching. I'm in the results business, and you are all in the results business. So if we sell the result, right, the value, the impact, the result, the outcome, what happens after Elvis leaves the building, our clients all of a sudden stop caring. It's like, oh, well, I thought it would just be like a 1-hour training. It's like, yeah, but you've got this leadership cancer. And you say that you got this toxic culture and this horrible situation in your hospital, in your car dealership, in your corporation, in your whatever it is. Guess what? We're not going to solve that with a speech. So again, just being totally present and totally listening for what are the value, the impact, the results, and the outcomes that they want to buy, and then figure out, well, how can I shift what I'm doing, stay in integrity with what I'm doing and how I like to do it, but how do I sell them that outcome? And it's your house, your rules. It's your house, your rules on your topic. It is your house, your rules on the audience. It is your house, your rules on the fee. I mean, everything is your house, your rules. You run your business the way that you want, and you can have it exactly the way you want it, right? As soon as we start to cave or compromise or you wake up one morning with a business that you hate and a client base that you don't respect, and it's just real tough to get out of bed. If you maintain your house, your rules, every day is awesome. Every day you get to hang out with fantastic human beings like this. And that's what you want. That's what you want, whether that's a keynote, seminar, training, workshop, online group coaching program, like what we're talking about here. You have to maintain your standards. You really, really do. There's conditions of doing business with you. You've got standards that you must not violate, even when your clients and prospects want to violate them, right? Getting paid less than X number of dollars, that violates one of your standards, right? So integrity, one of the definitions of integrity is, do you keep your word to yourself? When you make a promise to yourself, do you keep that word or break that word? When you say, hey, I'm a $7,500 speaker, I'm a 10K speaker. Well, can you do it for 3? No, I can't do it for 3. Not because I don't like you, not because I don't love you, not because my speech isn't worth $10,000. I made a promise to myself that my fee is 10K. It's not even about what you're paying. It's about, am I keeping in integrity with the promise that I made to myself to have the business that I truly want, to have the speaking-driven business that I really, truly want. I just can't go out for $3,000. Now, you don't need to tell them that, but that needs to be crystal clear and very firm in your mind. Because if it's not firm in your mind, they're not going to latch onto that certainty. And everything that we do, whether it's in your group coaching program, whether it's your speech, your seminar, your 6-month leadership development super duper program, we are merchants of certainty. Write that one down. Maybe that's your big aha moment. Maybe that's your big takeaway from today that you'll post in the Facebook group when we ask everyone for their biggest takeaways. You are a merchant of certainty. Certainty that your program works, certainty that your outcomes are what you say they are, certainty that you're only going to do work with ideal clients and ideal audiences, certainty about your fee. You know, people get on the phone and say, well, how much is it? Well, it's $10,000, but I'm willing to work with you, right? You immediately undercut your fee, right? Immediately you're starting negotiating against yourself. It's $10,000, but I can work within your budget. It's $10,000, but I'm not married to that number. It's 10,000, but you know, if you have less, maybe we can work something out, right? Now we're playing the how low can you go game, right? And you've just totally violated your promise to yourself and your personal and professional integrity. Here's the way to have that money conversation and make it completely neutral and completely not about you. So you've talked about the value, that the results, the impact, the outcomes, etc. You say, for a program that delivers the specific outcomes, results, etc. that we just talked about, that solves problem A, fixes headache B, makes sure that you get solution C, the program investment is blank, right? It is what it is. It's neutral. It's not, you know, you need to pay me. It's the investment is, period. The investment is what it is. Just like this is a coffee cup and this is a water bottle and the investment's 10K, right? So we talk about in the training about salt, pepper, 4,500, salt, pepper, put your number on a Post-it note, whatever that number is. The other way to do it is another statement of fact for the kind of program that we just talked about that solves problem A, fixes headache B, and gets you outcome C. I get number. I get 10K. I get 10K. Clients pay 10K. Either flavor of that. That's another statement of fact. I get 10K. It's not what does it cost? How much do you charge? It's a statement of fact. I get your number. I get 7,500. Right? Clients invest 7,500. For the program like that, clients invest 7,500. This is like going onto a car dealership lot, with all due respect to Leonard. You look at the sticker and you say, well, for me to buy this car, it's going to be $27,583. Right? Can you negotiate a little bit above and yeah, throw in the pinstriping. Okay, great. Can we take out the high cap air? Yeah, we can take out the high cap air. Can we do, right? It's a value for value. It's not just, let me cave on price for no reason, or let me jack up the price for no reason, right? You're within a range. It's on the sticker. Oh, you know, you don't want the pinstriping. Fine, we'll delete the pinstriping. You save $583. Okay, but the price is the price. It's right there on the sticker. What are you talking about? Can you negotiate? Sure. Can you add extra stuff? Sure. Can you take some stuff away? Yes. Take out the seats. Can't take out the seats. How much is it without the engine? And by the way, when people start to lowball you, right? Well, how much is the car? Now, probably the engine's the most expensive part of the car, right? Can we just take out the engine and sell me the rest of the car for like $5,000? No, because that violates the conditions under which you're going to deliver your highest and best value. Anyway, that was another very long answer to a very short question, but just don't be goofy with this. Standards, conditions, value, right? The number is the number is the number, and that's true with everything. That's true with your group coaching. That's true with your speaking, seminars, strategic work sessions, all of it. All right. What else? Did I skip a part of that question? I did have all 7 modules finished before I started. And then I'm lost on the questions because we've had a lot of conversation going in. So first of all, did I completely answer Kristie's question? Let's check in with Kristie on where she is with that tsunami of an answer.
You know what? I just joined about 5 minutes ago, so I did not know you were on my question. So I heard a little bit of the rant about don't you dare lowball yourself.
You didn't recognize the answer to your own question because I was just freaking
I did
all over the place. That's cool.
I think that's kind of what it was. I wasn't sure. But you did say that you had all 7 modules. That was my question. I apologize. I was in a meeting. So I heard a little bit of the back end. And I think my other part of the question was, you know, how did you decide on the length and things like that? I don't know if you answered that or whatever, well, so you know, like 8 weeks as opposed to something else.
This is something that if you guys want to build an online course, I have a fabulous partner that does this, and we can talk about how you can get in on some of that. Our mantra with courses, any kind of course or online training that might be part of a larger mentoring program, as little as possible to maximize their results. So as you guys know from these calls, I could talk for 57 hours about this stuff with all kinds of depth and detail and, you know, all kinds of nice to have, nuance and subtlety and what happens if this and what happens if that. The online training, and this is how we designed this program in particular, the online training is designed specifically to be as little as possible, as short as possible in order to maximize your results. Now, both parts of that sentence are very important. So think of it as two curves, right? There's the duration curve and there's the results curve. And where those two intersect, it's the least amount that you can possibly teach them to give them the very best maximum results. So here's what happens, guys. And again, I get this all the time from even you guys. Like, wow, okay, it's 7 modules. They're between 30 and 40 minutes each. People go, oh my God, it's a fire hose. Imagine if it was like 25 modules of like 90 minutes each. Imagine if it was 50 modules of 75 minutes each. Number one, the program would be unconsumable and it would slow you down. So anytime that you're doing a program like this, and I'm happy to talk to you guys more privately if you want to kind of create this, it's a whole different kind of program. We don't teach this in here, but I'm happy to share it with you. Our job is to shorten their path and accelerate their speed to an outcome. So if I gave you 50 90-minute videos, that would not shorten your path to anything. And that would not speed your results. That would slow you down, right? That would slow you. Oh my God, I'm never going to get through those 50 videos. No, of course you're not. Are you going to get through 7 videos that might be between 35 and 40 minutes each? Yes. And what we're doing now, actually, this is kind of an exciting development. I'm not sure what the timetable is on it. We're going to take those bigger modules and we're going to make them into micro modules. So instead of module 1 being like a 45-minute monster, it's going to be module 1, video 1, 6 minutes and some homework. The next one, 5 minutes and some homework. The next one, 7 minutes and a specific assignment. So you can say, okay, well, this is manageable. I can actually watch that 5-minute video. I can fill out this one exercise where I'm making some decisions or writing down some language. And I have a very nice sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, I show up, I say, hey, I finished module 1, video 3. Woo, it's done. It's never coming back. It's put to bed. I nailed it. Okay, well, module 1, video 4. Module 1, video 5. Great, done with module 1. Module 2, video 1. 6 minutes and an assignment and a decision and an action step. Great. So even now we're looking at how do we make this even more absorbable by you guys, right? So instead of, oh yeah, here's a loaf of bread, eat the loaf of bread, then come back to me. It's like, let me make you a nice sandwich. Let me give you a piece of bread here, a little, ham, cheese, tomato, mayonnaise, piece of bread. Just eat that. We call that lunch. And then come back tomorrow. Tomorrow you're getting breakfast. And then you're getting another lunch. And then maybe you'll get dinner. And we're not trying to cram a loaf of bread down your throat. So the mantra is, this goes back to the Einstein quote. Einstein said, everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. That's the mantra. So make your online program, make your group coaching, whatever it is that you're doing, atomize it, break it down so it's digestible, give them everything that they need, as little as possible to maximize their success, as little as possible for the ultimate fantastic end result outcome that you want them to have. If anything is on the fence, like, do I put this in? Do I not put this in? The answer is no. If you have any piece of content, any lesson, any teaching, any exercise where you're like, maybe they need this, some people don't, cut it. Just cut it. Because you can always give it to that one person as an extra or as a bonus, right? If you're thinking, well, gosh, is this really critical, vital to absolutely everyone's success? Then you put it in your training. And if it's not, please don't lengthen their path to a result that they want. Don't put extra junk in their way. If it can be six modules instead of 10, do 6 instead of 10. If the modules can be 6 minutes instead of 60 minutes, give them the 6-minute modules and give them 4, right? So have 24 minutes of content, not 60. Because our job is to accelerate their speed and shorten their path. Anything that lengthens their time with you, nobody wants time with you. Nobody wants time with me. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm a necessary evil to get you to the outcomes that you want, right? So no one wants time with us. No one wants extra stuff that doesn't shorten their path or accelerate their speed to an outcome. So there you go. There you go. All right. Rand says, is it better to build your own marketing funnel or hire out to a company to do it? So when you say marketing funnel, I get scared because usually that's an online term. It's not the high relevance, personalized, high relationship outreach. So talk a little bit more about that. So Rad, if you're still there, go ahead and unmute. And I want to hear your definition of this marketing funnel term. Rad may have walked away. All right, we'll come back to Rad. We'll come back to Rad. Who was in the queue, Morgan, after Rad? I can also just scroll up here if it's not. Oh, Kimberly. Okay, great. How do you balance the fee as the fee? So great question, and we sort of answered it already, but I'm happy to summarize. You know, the fee is the fee, or the fee range, right? Because we talked about having a fee strategy or a fee range. It's simply value for value. So when you add on extra stuff, the fee goes up. If you need to reduce the fee, then what they get goes down. And that can be before the event, during the event, after the event. That can be, you know, I normally do a 30-day webinar afterwards for everyone in the audience. I'm happy to invite everyone to that. Oh, no, we only have X dollars. Well, then we'll take out the webinar. Well, we'll take out some customization. You'll get my off-the-shelf program instead of getting, you know, the fully customized program. So think about all of the work that you can do before and during and after the program, because those are all of your negotiating bullets. What I usually say is I throw in the kitchen sink. I say, you know, before we're going to do a needs and interest survey, we're going to have a customization meeting. At the event, I'm happy to show up early, come the night before, hang out at the VIP dinner or the speaker dinner. You have me all day. I'll do the keynote. I'll do the lunchtime session. I'll do an executive session in the afternoon. You want me to MC the awards ceremony that night? I'm not flying out till the next day anyway. After the event, I give people unlimited 30-day email access to me. I'm happy to have a group conference call or a webinar 30 days after to reinforce some of the key learnings and make sure people took home some value. So I throw the kitchen sink in there. And so when I say, hey, by the way, that's $9,500, they go, ooh, yeah, boy, all we have is $6,000. I say, okay, well, you know, we're a little bit far off, but it's not impossible. Which of those things that I just mentioned do you think you could do without? Do you want to do away with the customization, the pre-programmed questionnaire, the interviews, the customization meeting? Do you want me to just come in and do the keynote only and not come do the VIP dinner, not do the lunchtime, blah, blah, blah? Do you not want the follow-up? Do you not want the add-ons? Do you not want the email support? Do you not want the videos? Do you not want the webinar? Here's what they say when you have a list like that. They go, oh, no, we want everything. Well, of course you do. The problem is that now we're back to $9,500. Oh, let me see if I can find some more money, right? So this is where the fee is the fee, because you're adding in all this extra value. And then they say, well, okay, well, how about if we buy 100 books? And again, if you have books as a negotiating chip, great. If you don't, great. How about we do a 3-camera HD video shoot? And if that has economic value to you, then you can put a number on that. And you say, well, by the way, I happen to be working on my new speaker reel right now. So I'm happy to knock off $1,500 or $2,000 because that's what I would need to pay for a professional video crew to come in anyway. And you guys have a professional video crew there? Yes. And it's HD 3-camera shoot? Yes. And it includes editing and yes. Well, fantastic. So there's your $2,000. So from $9,500, it's now $7,500. And I will write into the contract, includes full 3-camera HD video shoot with post-production and editing, minus $2,000. So the invoice now says $9,500 minus $2,000 in consideration of what they're going to give me. And then I give them a bottom line number. So now when I show up, David Newman's not a $7,500 speaker who caved on the price. David Newman's a $9,500 speaker, and there's some non-cash components to my compensation. And there's going to be non-cash components to your compensation. So that's the difference between bargaining, right? Bargaining is caving on the price for no reason. versus true negotiating, which is value for value. Value goes up, fee comes down, value gets taken off the table. So it's a question of how much do you want? How much would you like me to take away? If it's within a reasonable range and it's got true economic value to me, I am happy to negotiate with integrity. And it's just, as long as that top line number doesn't vary, right? You can do a 9,500 program for 5,000 cash and for 4,500 in non-cash compensation. So it's not about, does every gig mean I get a check for that number? Trade show booth, add in the program book, add in their glossy magazine that goes out to 30,000 members. Well, show me your rate sheet. Okay, well, the rate sheet for a full page ad, that would ordinarily cost $11,000. David, can we take $4,000 off your fee and give you a full page ad in the magazine for 3 months? If it's my target market, the answer is yes. I would love a full page ad in your magazine that's basically, $30,000 of advertising space that I'm getting at no additional cost. Or for $4,000 of cash, cash consideration, I'm getting $30,000 of advertising, and it's my target market, and it's the exact right people that I want to be in front of anyway. So you get to pick, right? But understand that distinction between bargaining and negotiating. Negotiating is awesome and bargaining sucks. Don't bargain. Negotiating is good because you have a fee system, right? You're not locked into a rigid fee. You have a fee system. And within that fee system is some room to negotiate up and negotiate down. And if you're in front of the right people for the right fee and the right non-cash compensation, everybody wins. You win, they win, the audience wins, everyone wins. And that's the business that we're in.
Thank you.
Sure. Now that I have clarity on who I need to contact, can we revisit researching associations? So module 5, if we had it broken up into video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would tell you what part of module 5. But in module 5 is the exact kind of Google searches and what to look for on LinkedIn and how to filter and sort those search results. So module 5 is your friend. That walks through the exact same training that I would do with you now. So we're just not going to do it now because it's much better in the recorded version that's in the portal. All right. So is it better to build your own? Okay, so is Rad back?
I'm back.
Hey there. So
hey,
I'm not sure if you were on mute, but I'm not sure if you heard my question that when you say funnel, I get scared because to me that's like an internet marketing term. That is not the kind of sales process that we recommend in here. So what do you mean by funnel and how can I help answer that question for you?
If you have something to opt in, can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have something to opt in on your web page and it sort of moves people along, let's say your end goal is moving them to be a coaching client, but you start by selling a book or then a home study course. I mean, that is kind of the funnel, I guess I'm talking about. And I wouldn't rely totally on that, but it's one option to, get people to kind of follow you and come on board at their own pace.
Sure. Yeah. So this is not necessarily to generate speaking. This is to manage your online presence or your list building or your lead generation through your website.
Yeah. Some of those other scalable items. Maybe. Okay. So
I have a 2-part answer. 1 is if you have the skill set and 2 is if you have the preference. Think of a 4-quadrant diagram. There's stuff that you know how to do and stuff that you don't know how to do. Out of the stuff that you know how to do, there's stuff that you should be doing and stuff that you should not be doing. Out of the stuff that you know how to do, should be doing and should not be doing, there's stuff that you actually enjoy doing, even if you shouldn't be doing it. So all this internet marketing crap, this is in quadrant 4 for me, is that I should not be doing it. I know how to do it and I find it fun. The fact that I know how and I find it fun, I get sucked into it more often than not until I hired a fantastic team and I said, you know what I really have fun doing? I have fun working with my clients. I have fun answering their questions. I have fun going into our help desk software and looking at your documents. I have fun answering your questions in our Facebook group. That's what I really have fun at. That's what I'm the best in the world at. And I don't want to be building lead pages and having email autoresponders go out and none of that geeky, freaky stuff that I really enjoy. But Sam, who's on our team, is 100 times better at it than I am. And frankly, she enjoys it even more than I do, which is hard to imagine, but she does. And that's why she's awesome. So that's where I would start to partition. Where do I need to start hiring some help? And my mantra on this is SEDO, S-E-D-O. It's an acronym, S-E-D-O. Simplify, eliminate, delegate, and outsource. That is another huge, huge takeaway for some of you guys, I think. What is it in your business that you need to either simplify because you're making it too hard, you're making it too complicated, you're confusing yourself and getting yourself all worked up. So simplify, eliminate, well, that doesn't need to be done anymore. I'm blogging every single day. Well, blogging is not revenue generating activity. So I stopped blogging in 2015 and I've tripled my income since 2015. So think about that combination. Maybe your time is better spent not blogging. Okay. So that's eliminate. Delegate is find someone awesome who can work with you on a regular basis. And that's for an ongoing relationship that we're delegating things. And outsource is things like graphic design, right? So I'm giving Leonard some feedback. I gave Susan some feedback. I gave Roger some feedback. I said, let's have this professionally designed. Find someone on Upwork, find someone on 99 Designs. Doesn't need to be your best friend, doesn't need to be your long-term design resource. Let's just outsource that puppy, check the box, get it done. If they're awesome, you give them more work. If they weren't that great to work with, at least the thing is done. You've outsourced it and you can check that box. So what in your professional life as an entrepreneur should you be simplifying, eliminating, delegating, or outsourcing? So to answer Rad's question, this might be something where you want to either delegate that or outsource that. Even if you're good at it, even if you enjoy it, that should not be taking up a second of your valuable time. And this is kind of the classic, $15 to $20 an hour work that we as $500 or $1,000 an hour professionals should not be touching with a 10-foot pole. If you value your time at $500 an hour or $1,000 an hour, and you're doing stuff that, someone in the Philippines can be doing for $4 or $5 an hour, like building landing pages and managing email funnels and connecting your MailChimp and just doing that once and having that set up, why in the world are you a $1,000 an hour person doing $5 or $10 an hour work?
Got it.
So that's the magic. Simplify, eliminate, delegate, outsource. It totally changed my life when I embraced that. I was probably talking about it and saying, that's a good idea for a couple of years before I implemented it. When I implemented it, woo, my life got a lot more fun.
That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. What else? Other questions? I think we're through. Yeah. Thank you, Morgan. That's great. We're through all the pre-submitted questions. Anything else for anyone else before we reconvene on Thursday? Anything else I can help with? Anybody's answer cause you to have a question? Because sometimes a good answer will prompt the next question in your head. Anything else I can help you guys with for the moment? Everyone's good? I'm not seeing any waving necessarily. Oh, Susan. Susan's waving. There we go. All right. What is cooking?
Well, I was reading about how, and I forget the name of it, but you make a contact with a prospect, and then you follow up with them and bring by a copy of your signed book, and you send them articles, and you build this relationship. What if you don't have the book?
The book, that's an optional step. So you're talking about the interviews as a marketing strategy and all the follow-up steps after the interview to build trust and rapport and to add value to their life. Just don't worry about the book. And also the whole kind of stop by with a book. If they're not in your hometown, you're not going to stop by anywhere anyway. So at that point, it's like, hey, Jim, I was just thinking about your situation, about how critical it is for your engineering professionals to speak better. Here's a great checklist I found on Harvard Business Review about how engineering professionals need to work on their presentation skills. And then 7 to 10 days later, hey, by the way, I found this great video on YouTube about the science of presenting effectively for technical professionals. And it's kind of a fun little 3-minute video. Feel free to share it with your team. So all you're doing is every 7 to 10 days, you're showing up with some highly relevant, highly valuable resource. By touch point 6 or 7 or 8 in that process, where you're already acting as if you're hired, right? This is called trusted advisor marketing. You're being of service, you're being of value to them. No money has changed hands, no discussion of money has changed hands. But by touch point 6 or 7 or 8, you have a pivotal conversation. You say, hey, Jim, we've been talking for the last few weeks about how your technical team can be much more effective at presenting their ideas and getting buy-in. I think I have some ways I might be more formally helpful to you. Would that be worth a short chat? And Jim says, yeah, Susan, that'd be great. Would love to talk to you about how we can take this further and go faster. And then boom, that's a sales conversation. So when you say I have some ideas of how I can be more formally helpful to you, yeah, Susan, what do you have in mind? Bring me in for your next leadership meeting. Let's pick a training day. Let's do a webinar. How about we do a 3-month super duper presentation program for your top team? How about we do a pilot with 3 of your engineers? I mean, it could be anything. But it's the door opening conversation after those touch points, after relationship has been built, after trust has been built. You never know how that conversation shows up. So when we talk about, well, what do I pitch? What do I sell them? Nothing. We don't pitch anything. We don't sell anything. We show up with questions. We show up with, well, what are you working on? And how is this important to some of the strategic initiatives that you're responsible for? Is this important to the CEO or is this important to you? Is this something that's going to be a needle mover on the rest of the department, or is this just for a small number of people? The more questions that we ask, the more kind of deep dive, peel the onion, investigative type questions. By the way, that's in module 6 in the online portal, right? How to have that deep dive, peel the onion questioning conversation. That's what opens up the opportunities. That's what really gets them to go, we need the webinar, we need the video, we need you to come in, we need a 3-month boot camp, we need the whole program, we need the enchilada, the whole thing. Right. Because it becomes their idea, right? As soon as you start pitching or peddling or pushing, right? This is the old mantra about if you chase the dog runs away. If you run away from the dog starts chasing you. So we need to be asking questions, or we're essentially kind of eliciting these things that get the dog to chase us. And that's the best kind of sales conversation. It's 100% based on questions. It's not based on you pitching or peddling or kind of having the hammer behind your back and going, okay, we're having a nice conversation. When do I pull out the sales hammer? When do I bang them on the head and go, you're buying my keynote, you're buying my training, you're buying. The answer is never. We don't have the sales hammer behind our back. We never pull out the hammer and hit them over the head. We facilitate them investing in our outcomes. And how that's delivered, that's a collaborative conversation based on depth, duration, detail, and budget, right? If you have a bleeding neck, I'm not going to give you a Band-Aid.
Right.
If you have a paper cut on your finger, I'm not going to send you for open heart surgery. So it goes in both ways. But more often than not, if you have this questioning dialogue the right way, you will expose a bleeding neck issue that is hugely important to them, is causing them money, time, ego, pain, embarrassment, lost opportunity, wasted time, wasted effort, loss of profitability, all these different things. So the other mantra is don't just put a Band-Aid on a bleeding neck. If you discover there's a bleeding neck situation, then you say, wow, right? Here are the most powerful words in these sales chats that you have. Wow, really? Whew. Whew. That's it. That's your whole sales script is wow.
I think I could do that.
Oh, that sounds bad. How bad is it? Really? Oh. And they just keep digging. They just keep digging. And at some point you say, do you think you might want some help with that? You know, have you thought about hiring someone like me to come in and help you fix that problem? And again, it's not even have you thought about hiring me. Have you thought about hiring someone like me to come in and fix that problem? Totally takes the pressure off. Yeah. Totally takes the pressure off, right? Yeah. And Of course, they're going to hire you because you're sitting right there in the chair. You're the one on the phone. You're there on the Zoom call. You're doing whatever you're doing. The expert at hand is the expert who gets hired. It's not like, yeah, Susan, well, we definitely would think of hiring someone like you. Let me hang up the phone and find someone. No, they're lazy. Our buyers are lazy, busy, and befuddled. They don't know they have a problem until you show up and start asking these questions. They don't know who else, it's not like, oh, let me vet 17 other solutions to this and then, bleeding neck. Bleeding neck is not like, yeah, hey doc, let me go to 3 or 4 other emergency rooms, then we'll figure out if I want to fix this or not. You walk into the first emergency room and you're like, can you fix this? Thank you. You're the doctor, right? You're the expert. You're having that deep dive, investigative, peel the onion conversation. The expert at hand is the expert who gets hired. And that's what I said at the top of the call today. Nothing good happens outside of these type of conversations. Right? We could sit in our office all day long waiting for the phone to ring, fiddling with our websites, fiddling with our language. That's not going to bring checks in the door. What Susan's about to embark on, that's what's going to bring checks in the door. About having those diagnostic conversations on how you can help and serve the people that you want to help and serve.
Just a quick question, follow on,
Sure.
Is as an internal, I was sometimes told,
yeah,
well, we want you to do training for the Hawthorne effect. Are you familiar with that?
Sure.
Okay. So if people, for those who might not, if people haven't had training, well, let's give them training and that'll make them feel good. And I'm thinking my response to that would be, I'm committed to producing results, not just giving people a good time, a break from work.
Right.
So would that be?
That's a perfect example of what we talked about before about the conditions of your business.
Okay.
Right. So the Hawthorne effect is when people that feel that they're being paid more attention to perform better. And a nice way to say this is a lip service program. It's like, right. Oh yeah, diversity is really important. Susan, can you come in and do a diversity program so that we don't look like an evil company, that we look like we actually care about diversity, even though we really don't? But checking the box, the other way to say it, it's like a lip service program or checking the box program, right? Yeah. A lot of compliance training is like this. A lot of, ethics training. Imagine that, ethics training being a checkbox. It's like, yeah, I guess we got to take the ethics training. Oh, well. One of my very successful clients, Frank Bucaro, is an ethics speaker Hall of Fame guy. And he says, you know what I've done? Because he used to get these calls all the time about the check the box ethics training. He's now reshifted it just by about 10 or 15%. And he calls it values-based leadership. Now, his main clients, here's what's interesting. His main clients that he reaches out to and builds relationship with and sells to and interviews and everything, chief compliance officers. Because chief compliance officers at these big Fortune 500 companies, they understand the connection between compliance and ethics. Ethics, he says, doesn't sell. Ethics is like a 4-letter word. Ethics seems like work. Values-based leadership, that is 90% his ethical leadership training, right? That sells. That sells. So in some respect, it's when you have a legitimate opportunity where it's not just a checkbox training, it's about sell them what they want, and when you get in the room, you give them what they need. Sell them what they want, and when you get in the room, you give them what they need. Because again, you're the doctor. You know the cure, you know the medicine, you know the antidote that you're delivering. You say, I can't create the outcomes unless I talk about this stuff that your people really need to hear. No, but we want whatever training. It's like, no, you don't want whatever training. You want whatever result. You want whatever outcome. And if it truly is lip service or a check the box thing, you're more than welcome to say, you know what? I really can't work under those conditions. It wouldn't be serving you. It wouldn't be serving your team. If you're just doing this to check a box, I'm probably not the best person to come in. Now, again, here's why this works. I'm not saying turn down checks and start saying no to revenue. You throw up that obstacle, they will then tell you all the reasons that it's not just checkbox training. They will jump over and they will tell you all the reasons it's not just a lip service program. And they would, no, we're serious. No, we want to do more. Well, so my clients who are serious, they usually don't hire me for just one program. They hire me for a series of 6 programs for ongoing repetition, reinforcement, and application. So we can do a lip service program. That's kind of a once and done, you've checked the box. Or we can really start to move your culture to a culture of, high performance presentations for your technical team, where every presentation that they ever give, number one, they feel great going into it. And number 2, they produce massive results coming out of it. If you want that, that's not just a one-time speech.
Okay, thanks.
Again, mic drop moment. Because they'll respond. If they have any kind of integrity at all, they'll totally respond to that. And they know, yeah, we tried that Band-Aid program last year. We've hired these people to kind of come in and do the quick fix. And you know what, Susan, that never works. So I'm so glad we're having this conversation. By the way, how much is your 6-session program? And now you're looking at a $30,000 deal instead of a $5,000 deal.
Great, thanks.
You bet. So Kristie's asking about my ethics guides. Frank Bucaro, he's in Chicago. It's Bucaro, Frank Bucaro. And just a fantastic human being, Speaker Hall of Fame member, good buddy of mine, past client of mine. All right, team, great call today. Wow, what a bonanza. What a bonanza. I will see you in the Facebook group. I will see you on Thursday. Please continue to celebrate your successes. Post your distinctions in the group, right? Because writing crystallizes thought, thought crystallizes action. So when you see today's kind of post your distinctions, post your ahas, post your takeaways, please engage in that for 5 minutes and jot down your biggest takeaways from today. And we'll reconvene on Thursday, and I'll see you guys then. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.